Okay, so starting off my project, I'm running this code. So we're trying to calculate the geo-mean growth instead of the already programmed geo-mean into Excel, where you would have to add 1 to your growth rate, then you would need to sum up all of those, and then take the fourth root of it in order to get this rate, which you would then need to subtract from 1 to get this, which is our ultimate goal, is to come up with this rate, because this would be the amount that would need to be spread across all of these periods in order to return this, which would be 68.75% of the $100, which that is what we ended up with over these rates. Instead of ending up with a normal average of 0 here, we actually ended up with 68.75% of the $100. So to view my code, I started out defining that this function is going to be called the geo-mean growth, using R as a range, which your range is over here. These can change, so you want to define that as the range. Defining these variables, I defined the R count as an integer, I defined the X as an integer, and the running sum as a variant, which comes into play all the way through down here. So first you want to show that the R count, you want to show it as a formula that actually shows how many periods are in this, which I just realized that's spelled wrong, but how many periods there are in total, which there are 4. So then you want to use the X equals 1 as just your counter. You want to show that the running sum, which is what we calculate here, is the rate of whatever it is plus 1. Now we want to do a loop, and we want to do this only while your integer X is less than or equal to your R count. So what that means is this number, whatever number you're plugging in as X, is it less than or equal to 4? You don't want it to be outside of this range. We're pretty much defining this range right here. It has to be less than or equal to 4. So that's our do while function. Then you use this other little counter here, and you just X equals X plus 1. You just want to show that it goes up by 1. So now for our running sum, we want to show that our running sum is multiplied by the rate plus 1, which is shown here. And then you want to do this loop only while it obtains to this criteria. So as long as it's not over 4. Then after that, you can show that your mean growth would equal, which is the same as this up here, which is our function, is equal to the running sum to the 1 divided by the R count, which the R count, again, is how many periods are there. Because here we're setting this equal to 68.75. We want to figure out what the rate is. So first, what we need to do is we need to, well, we already divided by the 100. So we want to take the fourth root of this. We want to take the fourth root of the 68.75, because that is the 68.75 divided by 100 already. We want to take the fourth root of that to give us 91.058%, but we still have this 1 in this formula, so we need to subtract out the 1 to get us here. That's what we're looking for in our formula. So again, we can check that our formula is right by using the already programmed geo-mean formula. We want to do this. We want to do the array of here plus 1. So again, we're adding 1 to each of them. And then once we get that answer, we want to subtract out 1. So that will give us the same answer. So if we use our formula that we just made, we can show that this actually does equal the same thing. As for my macro, I recorded a macro and used this button name to show my name in A1 and B1. And there it is. So that's my project. Thank you again. Figure out, pause this. Stop recording.